Hi, you guys.
Huh?
This video is pretty special to me because it's one of the last big renos that needs to be done in the house.
Oh, okay.
There's still a few projects in the backyard and a couple little things I want to do around here, but the stairwell to the basement is like one of the last big things that I have to do. Oh, and the utility side of the basement, but that's down the road. So yeah, the stairwell. This spot's where the main level meets the 70s basement, so I kind of want to blend the two vibes. I was originally going to paint the ceiling and do some like high conceptual stuff, but now I just want it to feel fresh and clean. I do want to keep the wood trim though, so that way it kind of ties in the 70s. I'm also going to update the floors on the stairs and the landings so they blend with the kitchen a little better. Plus the linoleum is not it. The walls had some lumps and bumps, so I already sanded that down and mudded. I also sanded down the door frame and the door because those are getting painted as well. But the first thing I have to do is install the baseboards and a door frame because I ripped that out like 3 years ago when we redid the kitchen. So yeah, I've already talked way too much, so let's get into it. I started by measuring and cutting the 1x4 wood that I was going to be using as the baseboards. Then I installed those two pieces with my brad nailer. Once those were in place, I was able to get the exact dimensions of what I needed for the door trim. I used my brad nailer again to install these with some 18 gauge brad nails. And once that was all done, it was time to caulk. I was sent this caulking gun by this tool company to try out, and I gotta say I really like it. I was able to adjust the speed on how much caulk came out of the gun, so that was awesome. And since it's battery operated, it's way easier on the hands. I'll put a link to it in the description box if you want to check it out. All right, all that stuff is done. I just taped everything off, so it is time to paint. First thing I did was prime the trim with a brush. Then I went in on the door with a smooth surface roller. It made me so happy to cover up that brown. Then I started cutting in the rest of the stairwell. I did 2 coats. And then it was 2 more coats with a 3/8 inch nap roller. While that was drying, I took the brass hardware for the handrail out to spray paint white, and then it was the final 2 coats of the paint. I used the color Super White for the walls and the door, which is pretty neutral, not too warm, not too cool. And then I could finally take off that painter's tape. This is the teeniest, tiniest tape ball. If I had to stop working right now, I'd be fine with it because that dingy ass brown door is finally painted. But I'm not done, so let's get to the flooring. I ripped out the old stair edging so I could see what was going on with the linoleum underneath. My original plan was to remove it, but the glue under there was like concrete, so I decided just to install over it. I used an adhesive for vinyl tiles. I went with these beigey neutral tiles that are made by the same manufacturer as the ones that I put in upstairs, but in black, so it kept with the vibe. I love this roller. It presses the tiles down super good so they stick to the adhesive. I use my tile cutter that works really well. It's like a tile guillotine. It makes super clean cuts. And then I just continued up step by step. The glue takes so long to get tacky, but I finally made it to the top. I had to cut these little 1-inch pieces to cap off the ends, but it worked out great. One last good press with the roller. After I let that cure for a couple days, I went in and installed the new stair edging. So shiny. Then I installed the new quarter round that I cut and stained to finish off the edges. And the final thing was attaching the handrail to those freshly painted brackets. Alright, I just installed this cute little coat rack that I found on Etsy, so that means that this stairwell is done. Let's take a look. You don't know how happy I am that the stairwell is finally finished. I always avoided looking over there whenever I was in the kitchen, but now it's bright and clean and no longer an eyesore. I also really like the new flooring. It makes me want to redo the floors in the kitchen, but when I pitched that idea to Ben, he was like,
No.
but we'll see what happens. I gotta say it's pretty nice that now every space in the house has been touched. There was always some big project looming over my head that I had to do, but now I just gotta do fun stuff. I would love to hear what you think about it, so let me know in the comments, or if you have any other questions, you can also leave them there. Feel free to push that like button if you want to show me some love. Subscribe if you want to do that as well, because I still have a lot of stuff in the works. That's all I got for now, so thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Why do airplanes always take off whenever I'm trying to talk?